I just wanted to make a quick video tutorial to show you guys through a few of the things that are contained within this spreadsheet that I made up that's going to help us hopefully all keep track of which students hit that 80% threshold for completion on the remote instruction assignments. So you all will eventually get a copy of this document, of this Google Sheet. When the link gets shared to you, it'll prompt you to make a copy. So you'll want to go ahead and make that copy, and that'll be your copy to use and to input grades into. So I just wanted to show you a few things about that. First of all, what you're going to notice is that along the bottom there are going to be tabs for each hour, first through eighth hour. One of the first things, of course, you'll probably need to do is get rid of the hours where you won't have a class, so your planned period and perhaps your study hall if you have one. To get rid of a tab, for instance, I don't have a first hour class, so I would go to the first hour tab, click the little down arrow, and then I would just delete that tab. It's going to give me a warning to whether or not I want to delete it. I'll say OK. And then once those tabs are gone, you'll have just the tabs left for the classes that you are actually teaching. I've also went ahead and pre-filled in a few things on there to give you an idea of what you should input. So for class name up here, I have second hour, I have advanced geometry. So I would go ahead and put in advanced geometry into my second hour class. I have a column here for your student names, last name, comma, first name. So you'll have to, unfortunately, I have no way of doing this for you. You'll have to go through and put in all your class rosters for each class. This column is for their semester grade prior to the remote instruction piece starting. So prior to that March 16th date, what was their percentage grade? You can put that in this column here. In this row up here are assignment names. I've pre-filled in a couple just as an example. You would probably want to go ahead and delete these. But just to kind of show you, perhaps you want to put in specifically what they were to accomplish on a certain day, or maybe you just want to say, hey, this was the assignment that I gave out on April 3rd. And so you would put maybe something like that. And then you would have an assignment date that you would put in there if you would like. And this place would be where you're going to put scores. Now, it's my understanding that we want to enter all scores as either ones or zeros, so not changing and giving some assignments 20 points and some assignments 5 points. Every assignment that we're going to track completion on is going to be a 1 or a 0 for whether they completed it or didn't. And so I built this calculation that's going to spit out this number over here. I built that using that idea of a 1 or a 0. So that's what you'll want to do. I did build it in. If there's an instance where you have a student that might be exempt from a certain assignment, or for some reason they didn't need to complete it, and you can leave that space blank, or if you wanted to put in like an NC for no count, you can do that and it'll adjust over here. So you can see this person here had 2 assignments that it's taking into account, completed 1, didn't complete 1, so they have a 50%. Whereas this person down here has 2 assignments they completed, 1 that they didn't, so it's a 67%. So that blank space is, it's treating it basically like a no count assignment. And then as you move on, you'll add in your assignments up here. If for some reason you need to add in more spaces, I tried to give plenty of spaces, but if for some reason you need to add in more, you would just need to insert columns before this last one. So maybe come to the second to last column here. If you right click on it, you can say insert 1 to the right or insert 1 to the left to add more columns on if you run into that circumstance where you need that. Just to show you a little bit about what this looks like, I went ahead and took my 4th hour trigonometry class and I entered in some grades that I have taken. So you can see what that looks like. I did also make it so that this up here, it's locked in place. So as I scroll down through different students, this is locked in place. Also, these columns over here, the first 3 columns with the names, they are going to be locked in place as well. So as I scroll over, those names are not changing. Okay.